Hi BSS, welcome back to a new video. As you can already tell by the title, today we are going to be discussing Brujas, or specifically a video about a bruja in Monterrey. There was like this video that was viral for like almost a whole week back, like 13 years ago, sometime around 2008. I don't remember exactly when. I was looking through a bunch of the videos on YouTube, but I remember when this was going on the news everywhere. But anyway, yes, that's what this video is going to be about today. I just kind of thought of doing this like out of the blue because I honestly sat down and I was like, I don't really know what I'm going to film today, but then this kind of just popped up in my head. But anyway, that was a really long intro. I just want to say hi to anybody who is new. My name is Brenda. I go by Beyond Belleza. If you would like to join my little community of Bellezas, all you have to do is subscribe down below. Also, turn on post notifications so you do not miss a new video. And give this video a huge thumbs up if you do end up enjoying it whatsoever. So yeah, with that being said, you guys, let's just go ahead and get right into today's video. Whew, I'm out of breath from trying to cram all of that in the beginning of the video, but anyway, we are going to be discussing this. As I said, this was a sighting of a supposed bruja, which is Spanish for witch, and this was in Monterrey, Mexico. And there was like a bunch of things that went on that happened in the news with this specific video. Like, they had people examining it, like trying to find out how somebody pulled this off. Like, could it be like a droid or something? And this was in 2008, as I said, so we did have like good technology, I would say, that it could possibly be something that somebody made themselves, is what I'm trying to say. And there's really not a lot on it. There's just a lot of people on the news who covered it who were like, oh, this happened for 4 days straight, and then people kept spotting it, and there's a bunch of different point of view videos of different people who saw it and were recording it, and they couldn't figure out what was, like, who was controlling it, or if it was, or what it was exactly. And you couldn't really get a good look at it either because it was really up high, like almost same height as the peak of the mountains that are on the like Valley of Monterrey. So they had people analyzing this. They had interviews with cops who said that they were in that area looking around the mountain areas, trying to figure out if somebody was manipulating this craft or something. Like, maybe it was like somebody like with something attached. They thought that somebody was controlling it, like it was something like a kite or something, or like a balloon, and somebody was moving it across the valley, basically, is what they were thinking. So they had cops out there who ended up saying that they had spotted, like in between these sightings, they had spotted a lady in a cloak sort of thing who had like feathers or something.
Hasta que el testimonio de este policía cambió el panorama.
Veo una persona vestida de negro, así con plumas, dos garras negras, así negras. Me asusto y me doy cuenta que donde la veo así, pero ella iba agachada. Entonces me hago para atrás, me meto otra vez al cuarto donde estaba, y de este lado, al cerrar la puerta, venía otra.
Según él, una noche cuando vigilaba este lote de autos, recibió la visita de dos seres que volaban sobre el panteón de Santa Catarina, ubicado a espaldas del cerro donde fue grabada la enigmática figura.
And I feel like this sort of sighting is attached to a Lechuza sort of witch, which is a witch who can transform into an owl. I have talked about this before in some of my other videos, but they had a bunch of cops who said that they spotted this figure, this person, and then at the same time people were seeing her, or it, flying in the sky. And it is a pretty big legend, like an urban legend, brujas, in various different places, not just Mexico. Mexico has their own stories and myths about brujas and like what you should and shouldn't do and what they do in general, but it's different in all kinds of countries, and some might even have the same myths or theories as Mexican people in Mexico. So Some people say that you know, it's a lechuza sort of thing, and or they can just transform into basically anything that they want. And one of the urban legends is that if you hear crying, because witches can mimic like the crying of babies, and they'll lure you out of your house to, if you have kids especially, they'll lure you out of your house to try to get to your kids, and they just snatch, they're baby snatchers basically. They snatch your baby up if you go outside, because you'll go out to look and there's nothing out there, and by the time that you're looking out there, they're already inside your house grabbing your babies, eating them up, whatever they do with them. So basically that's the urban legends, is that if you have children, you're not supposed to keep any of the windows or your doors open, which I'm guessing is such a pain in the ass when it's summertime, because people out here being like superstitious and they can't even open their windows up because they're like, I don't want a witch to come up and snatch my babies. So basically that's one of the urban legends, is that they come and steal your babies, and they have different ways of doing it. Sometimes they'll straight up knock on your door, and they'll get you to open the door, and then obviously you won't see anybody there, and you'll end up opening it for them, and again, they'll already be inside your house grabbing your babies. So they have a lot of different things when it comes to ladies who are pregnant. They're like, make sure that when you have your baby, you do this, this, and this, and don't open the door for anybody, especially not at night, because that's when they really come out. It's always at night. And they're like, if you don't know who's at the door, if you're not expecting anybody to be at your house, don't open the door, because they will take your babies. So that is what, you know, what people say in Mexico. And there's a lot of different things when it comes to this urban legend, and they have a lot of different videos of sightings of these possible brujas or entities that are unknown in the sky, and just different sightings in general, different videos of people hearing what they think are witches, and they have been debunked for the most part, because a lot of the times it's just actual owls, and that's actual noises that they make, and there's no like nothing creepy behind it. It's just like, yes, they make weird noises and they sound really weird, and they could make distinct noises that sound like other things, especially like babies crying. So I feel like that's just something that us as superstitious people will let it get to our head, and then we turn it into something completely different that it's not actually, because we don't have all the facts. So I don't really like to completely feed into the superstition without like actual facts. I don't just like to jump on it and be like, oh my god, yes, 100% that was a witch making those noises or whatever, because there's a lot of things that are unexplained that you can easily look up real quick, and you're like, okay, yeah, they're actually, this is just an animal making this noise or something, because they have videos of people yelling and stuff, and then we find out that it's some kind of like coyote noise or something. I don't fucking know. But anyway, I will show you guys a clip of the video of that Bruja in Monterrey, and some of the clips of like the officers talking about it and stuff.
Comenzaron a notar que aquella mancha flotante lucía como una persona encorvada que vestía una túnica con capucha puntiaguda. Incluso hubo quien aseguró que parecía volar sobre una escoba. Así llegaron a una primera conclusión. Tal vez aquello era una bruja.
So, oh yeah, so what I forgot to mention when it came to those officers who said that they saw or spotted this lady in a black cloak with like feathers or something, they gave them like a psychiatric analysis afterwards, and they were like doing tests on their eyes with like flashlights and making sure that they weren't hallucinating, making sure that they weren't on drugs, and that they weren't like tired out, that they were just imagining things. So they really went like over the top to try to make sure that these police officers weren't lying about what they saw, and making sure that they weren't just going through something like like some psychotic thing where they just imagined, hallucinated, whatever it was. They went to that extent of doing that for these police officers who gave these witness statements or whatever. And the other thing that they mentioned with this video was that it could possibly be like a UFO of some kind, some unidentified flying object, basically, that we just don't know what it was. It could have been somebody. There in the news that I was watching, they were basically saying that it could have been a person on like a hover machine of some sort, that they were just casually jetpacking along or something, some futuristic machine of some sort, basically was what they were saying. And I'll show you, as I said, I'll insert the clip now, just a little bit, and then if I have any issues with the copyright, it might be either the volume lowered or just muted, and then I'll just put closed captions or something. We'll see what happens, but I'll show it to you guys right now.
De manera personal, yo me inclino a pensar que se trata de una entidad extraterrestre, y esta entidad extraterrestre va montada prácticamente sobre un aparato individual para volar.
Alright, so yeah, that video is crazy, and I remember when that video came out and I was watching the news with my parents, and we were all like freaking out about it, and my dad was just like, oh, it's probably a UFO, because as I had mentioned in some of my other videos, is that my dad was really into like aliens and watching like documentaries of all that stuff. So he was immediately like, oh, it's like some kind of aircraft that we don't know, like we can't identify what kind of aircraft it is, some kind of UFO basically. And that's what he was. And my mom was like, oh no, es una bruja, like they actually got one, but why is she letting everybody see her, basically, because it was in the middle of the day and it was in broad daylight, and she's just hovering up there, just going across the mountains of Monterrey, letting a bunch of people record her. And yeah, that's the only thing that I was just like, how, like, why is some witch out here in the middle of the day? Like, unless they were trying to cause some kind of distraction for the people of Monterrey so they could plan something up. Obviously nothing was reported after this. They spotted her for 4 days straight, or spotted it for 4 days straight, and after that there was really nothing to follow up with it. Just a bunch of people trying to overanalyze the whole video and being like, there's no possible way that somebody could have been flying something like that, or have any kind of technology that could look like that, or anything, any machinery, any aircraft that we have that could look like that or fly the way that it was flying. And since the quality of the cameras wasn't great, like, you really can't make out what it is. It's kind of just like a black figure with like a point at the top, and it's just flying across the mountains, and there's really not much else to it other than that. But I just thought that it was really creepy, and I just remember watching that when I was younger with my family, and then everybody kind of just being like, what is going on? Like, what is this? Like, basically panic mode. And it was all over the news for the longest time, and just people playing it back to back to back, just everywhere, in any channel that you could possibly think of. And not even just in Mexico, obviously in the United States as well, and probably other countries too that got a hold of the video from like YouTube or whatever. But yeah, that's basically it. It's just a little short discussion about witches, because it's not a topic that I look into a lot, and I'm running out of legends from Mexico, because they're all basically along the same lines, and they're very repetitive, because a lot of different places in Mexico have the same sort of legends. It's just a little bit different. A lot of legends about like the devil and people selling their soul to him, or people thinking that they know where the devil resides and stuff like that. And my neighbors upstairs are making a shit ton of noise. It's getting me really pissed off. Anyway, yeah, so that's basically all I wanted to talk to you guys for a little bit about. I really didn't know what to do today's video on, but I know that I have to be preparing these videos ahead of time. I never have time to do research or find things for you. So I hope that you guys still liked it. Let me know what else you guys know about witches in urban legend, I guess, because I know there's people that actually practice sort of witchcraft that I am not. Like, I have no kind of knowledge in all of that. Like, I don't know what kind of witches there are. And I know there's obviously good and bad, and I don't know very much about them at all. And I just think that they're really interesting and really scary to think of, that there's just people out there trying to do bad stuff with like magic or witchcraft, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, it's just creepy. I just don't know much about them other than what people in Mexico think about them, and like the legends or stories that they come up with, because my mom used to tell me a lot about how they would kind of just, not like a witch hunt, but they would just kind of point fingers at people who they thought were doing stuff like that. They're like, oh yeah, they're like kind of loners and they're weird, always by themselves, and they're always wearing black and like that kind of thing. You know, they just profile people who are different, and then they would kind of make them look like they were up to no good, if that makes any sense. But anyway, yeah, that is all I have for you guys today. I hope that was interesting for you guys to listen to, and I hope that it was not all over the place, because sometimes when I'm talking, I don't know if I'm getting to the point or if I'm just like babbling about stuff. But I still hope that you enjoyed it, and I am going to put the comment shout out before I end the video right here. Thank you so much for leaving a nice comment, and as always, if you want to be the next comment shout out, all you have to do is leave a nice comment down below, and that's it. Again, thank you so much for being here watching. I appreciate you so much, and I love you guys. Hopefully I will see you in my next one. Don't forget to stay safe and be kind. Bye bye.
First time I saw you, girl, I like your style, and whenever I'm by you,